Marco Rubio has now arrived in Israel for his upcoming meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu, as President Trump's deadline for Hamas to release all hostages has passed. Now we'll see what the president meant when he issued this warning.
As far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off, and let hell break out. And if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2, Saturday at 12 o'clock. And after that, I would say all hell is going to break out. We want them all back. I'm speaking for myself. Israel can override it. But from myself, Saturday at 12 o'clock, and if they're not here, all hell is going to break out.
Hamas only.
Nicole, 3 more hostages released by the Hamas militant group today. The hostage deal and the ceasefire, however, remains very much a work in progress. Among those released, 36-year-old American-Israeli Sagu Dekel-Chen, 27-year-old Russian-Israeli Alexander Sasha Trufanov, and 46-year-old Argentine-born Yair Horn. After 498 days captive, brought from Gaza to a nearby military base and then area hospitals. The wife, mother, and father of Dekel-Chen greeted Sagu with jubilation, exultation. The freed hostages appear, at least, to be in better shape than those released last week. This as those released received mixed news. Sasha Trufanov learned his father was killed on October 7th. Yair Horn, with his mother and brother, another brother, is still being held by Hamas. And Dekel-Chen was to meet for the first time his new daughter. In exchange for all this, some 369 Palestinian prisoners were released from Israeli jails. 36 of them were serving life sentences. Hamas looking for more releases and more assurances about Gaza. As for that threat by President Trump earlier in the week of a deadline today for all hostages to be released, or else, Trump noted in a post it didn't happen, but he also left any response to Israel. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appears to be settling on the 3 hostages released today, but he and U.S. officials are looking for more to be released faster. Tomorrow, Secretary of State Rubio meets with the Prime Minister. Nicole.
He released 3 hostages today, including 1 American. President Trump took to Truth Social earlier to say, quote, Israel will now have to decide what they will do about the 12 o'clock today deadline imposed on the release of all hostages. The United States will back the decision they make, and Israel's ambassador to the United Nations says all options are on the table for a response.
Supported these efforts to achieve this framework. It wasn't easy for the government to approve this framework, but I think that will be the decision in front of the cabinet, whether to move ahead with the proposal coming from the U.S. or to move forward with the framework and to get as many hostages as we can
from the jail. Of those just released today, 36 life sentences for deadly attacks against Israeli. What I can't understand is how can people still be telling Israel that they have to accept a 2-state solution with these clear anti-Semitic terrorists when clearly they're rebuilding their army?
You know, Nicole, it's very fascinating. When you look at the video that Greg Palkot was just showing of Sagu Dekel-Chen greeting his wife, and Greg mentioned it, but it wasn't